And hello, welcome to our fifth episode of the T40's podcast. It's a lovely Sunday. I'm Michael.
Ryan.
I'm Benson.
And I'm Alex.
So, basically a quick overview of what we're doing this week. We're going to do the usuals, beer of the week. We're also going to tell you about our Netflix movie of the week for next week so that you can enjoy it with us and maybe send in some critiques that we can...
If you have Netflix, that is.
Yeah, if you have Netflix.
Or if you have it on VHS, that's cool too.
If not, steal it from all your friends like all the people at this table do to me.
Illegal in Tennessee.
Yeah. But also we're going to have a quick Bitcoin follow-up, or Witcoin follow-up.
Witcoin.
Witcoin?
Yeah.
We're also going to have a cut-it-out segment about the Weiner Gate.
Fuck you.
Wait!
All right, shut up, go.
Yeah.
We also have a Teach Me About Keygen Music with Kevin.
It's chiptunes, not keygen music.
Oh, it's not?
Keygen music.
No, it's Keygen music.
Oh, is it?
They're the
Yes.
same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Instant asshole from Alex about
Just
dog
ruined all his
empathy.
questions.
Just repeat that. Alex is going to be talking about dog empathy for instant asshole. Top 3 movies, as always, moderated by Alex. Top 5 most wanted, and that's pretty much it.
Cool.
So, we're going to start off. If you want to leave us a great message or just send us any information, you can contact us at podcast@tipping40s.com, or you can call our Google Voice line at 218-666-8407, and you can leave things like this.
God damn, it smells like poo in here.
It does.
Astute
that was
observation.
Someone did take a shit in the bathroom, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, leave us great voicemails. We'll play them.
Yeah, that actually had more to do with the podcast than any of the other.
All the voicemails we get are about the Let's Play.
which is great, but yeah, we gotta start playing those on those.
Yeah.
There's semantics involved.
Yeah.
Anyway,
On to the beer of the week real quick. We're actually drinking it this week. We have Singha. It's a Thai beer. I guess it's been made since 1933, so they got in during the Depression. That's always a good time to start a beer company. It's really clean.
What kind of
I mean,
beer
that's
is
the
it?
best. It's a, I guess you would call it
lager.
like a pilsner.
it's
not.
an Asian style lager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
A
dry.
little drier, but it's still a lager.
I actually think it's a lot better than what I thought how it was going to taste. When I
Yeah,
tasted
it's super clean.
No
it has a nice
aftertaste,
finish.
yeah.
It's just
I like it.
Drinking water.
it's pretty good. It also has a government warning on it, which women should not drink it. So if you're pregnant, you don't drink this.
No, just
drink
all women.
Budweiser. So
Oh,
yeah,
goodness.
but it's good.
Are pregnant women allowed to drink O'Doul's because they have like 0.05%?
They'd have to drink a shit because you're allowed to have one glass of wine or one beer
Yeah.
technically.
One glass of wine a day you can have.
But most women don't do that because most people don't know that. So if they drank in front of them even one glass of wine, they'd go, "Oh, she's a terrible mother." So they just don't drink any at all.
Then they go outside and smoke a pack.
Usually just throw it in their face. That's what you should do. Just to show them who's boss.
That woman in Britain who's smoking like 21 cigarettes a day with being pregnant. But
Sounds cool.
yeah. Anyways, Netflix movie of the week. We're going to be doing
Movie of
next
the
week.
month?
I'm actually. Oh yeah, sorry. Movie of the month.
Screwed it up.
Doesn't matter.
I'm actually going to be out of town next week, so I won't be here for this. But it's going to be 9.5 Ninjas. I don't
Starring
know.
Charlie Sheen and that other guy.
Have you ever seen 9.5 Weeks? Any of you?
Oh, yes.
I've seen it. Okay, so half of us.
It's not very good.
No, it's and people loved it when it came out.
Yeah, it made a ton of money, but it got terrible critical reviews.
Yeah, so it was barely a movie.
Yeah.
It didn't really have a plot.
People liked the fucking.
Yeah,
That's what they
totally.
liked. They wanted to see the fucking.
They liked the bass in your ass, basically,
Yeah.
in that.
Mickey Rourke back when he wasn't a monster.
Yeah, he's scary now. But just to get an idea of what you're in store for, here's a synopsis. This is actually directly from Netflix. When corrupt real estate mogul Arnold Gruber evicts Joe is played by Michael Fenicle.
Oh, that guy.
I love Michael Fenicle.
His other movie was good.
And Lisa, Andy Gray, yes,
Sure.
from their dwellings to make way for new buildings, martial arts trained Joe turns sexy Lisa into his ninja disciple, and the two team up to fight back in this erotic action comedy.
See, the thing I
It
love
has
about
three
that,
of all
the-
5 genres of film.
Yeah, the thing I love about that is that it goes, you like the whole synopsis. If you didn't tell someone the name, you could read it, and up until like the word ninja, you'd be like, wait. You hear ninja, you'd be like, what? And then you hear erotic, and you're like, oh my god.
What I'm confused
This is
about
just building on top of itself.
is so far I've been introduced to 3 characters: the mogul, the guy, and his girlfriend.
Right.
Where are the other 6.5 people?
Oh, yeah. That's true.
I hope there's a ninja dog.
I don't think they thought that out.
I think it's just a parody of the name and not actually.
But
9.5
wait.
ninjas.
It gets better, actually. I just noticed. I actually did not read the synopsis before this. Gruber sends his own, the real estate guy, sends his own ninjas to eliminate
there we go.
because he just has some
Oh, yeah.
ninjas. Maybe that's where the other 6.5
okay.
come from.
Well, there's, you gotta, when you have a lot of money, you gotta have some ninjas on standby in case, because things happen,
Wait, Joe and Lisa, who may have trouble focusing on the enemy as they are consumed by their lust for each other.
All right, speaking of having trouble focusing, let's not talk about this
So what's
movie
the
before we watch
What's
it
the
anymore.
rating that it gave for us?
I think it was like 1.5 stars.
Okay, good.
That's about
That's what
right.
we want.
Yeah.
So yeah, someone please watch it with us and send us some comments on the movie. We'll even play them while we're recording.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Oh yeah.
So we got the Bitcoin follow-up.
Bitcoins.
You
Okay,
wanted
so
to do something.
was it 2 weeks ago? I did a Bitcoin thing. I found this pretty funny follow-up on it. It's on bitcoinblogger.com. And the headline reads, Google could be destroyed. JavaScript Bitcoin mining to replace AdSense. And basically it's saying that hackers are trying to find a way to make AdSense, instead of showing ads on a page, mine for Bitcoin. So when a person goes to a blog or something, the ad will load and then it will do computations on that person's computer, basically destroying their processor
Right.
while it does this. But the person, I got to find the quote in here because it was great. Oh, where was I? Should have. Well, of course, it says the Bitcoin revolution is just beginning.
So is there any reason that these people don't think that Google would just find out about this and figure out a way to block it? Because they would.
No,
From-
they're just insane.
From personal experience I work for a company with a site that gets millions of views a month, and they have had trouble filtering ads that have malware in them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
not
weird
not
because-
recently, but like a year ago, we actually had a problem where one ad was in our like database or repository that they gave us,
Right.
and it was actually putting malware without you clicking on it.
Yeah.
So
That's
when
so
it loaded,
odd.
it popped. Yeah, it was nuts.
That's so odd. I've been using AdSense, not for myself for that long, but for the company I work for, we use
Yeah.
AdSense, and I've never had any issues with the ads at all.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we have about 200 ads that go through our site 'cause it's so big. We get so many different types of users.
Right.
But there was just this one ad, which was that. By the way, that was real fun to duplicate.
Well, anyway, go on.
So, yeah, we're going to replace all of our ads on our website with Bitcoin miners. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good idea. Let's
Some
do
real
it.
Bitcoins.
You guys want to help us mine?
Yeah. Also, we're gonna add more pre-roll ads to any of one of our videos. So
No.
we're gonna double, triple up.
Put on your hard hat and start making your 39 cents a day, because we're going mining.
Yeah. So, well, since we're already on you, Ryan, we should go to your next segment, which is Cut It Out.
Cut it out.
I want you to cut it out.
Okay, so if you've been paying attention to the news lately, you'll know that Anthony Weiner, the Democratic representative for New York's 9th District, has allegedly sent a picture of his clothed crotch to a 21-year-old female college student via Twitter.
Well, how
I
old?
haven't heard about this.
29?
I haven't heard
21.
about
Wait,
this.
Wiener
21.
showed his wiener.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Haven't heard that joke yet.
Shut up. The story itself, it's been reported by all the media outlets almost too well. So I'm not going to go into whether or not I think he did it or whatnot. Instead, I'm going to, shut up.
He did
Instead,
something.
I'm going to talk about the media giving terrible penis puns. That's all they've done. Every single article they've done about this has been terrible and a penis fun. First off, Weiner spelled W-I-E-N-E-R as opposed to Anthony Weiner's E-I version. They're spelled First off, they're spelled differently, which is irony itself.
Oh, who cares?
It's the German word for Vienna, the capital of Austria, and then Wiener Würstchen, I think I hopefully said that right, is German for Vienna sausage. It's the type of hot dog that comes from
Which
there.
is delicious.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And
Made
obviously,
last
this
week.
is how the slang for penis, because it's a sausage. Whatever.
Wiener, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, apparently, the media thinks this is pure comic gold. A man whose last name is a synonym for penis, showing a picture of his penis.
Okay, this goes back to when you're in kindergarten. If there was someone named Fart, P-H-A-R-T, he would be.
Well,
Fart.
yeah. I mean,
Just call him
this
Fart all
is
the time.
this is a funny story if you're 6 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So what I did is I went around the internet. I looked up some of these articles online about people, and I basically took the subject, the title of the article. We're gonna play a little game here. I'm gonna read off the headline. You got to find the penis pun.
Okay.
Okay. So of course, the first thing about any sex scandal or any scandal in politics, you have to put the word "gate" at the end of it.
Right.
So here's one.
Because, Watergate was called Watergate Gate because it was at the Watergate Hotel.
It was the Watergate, yeah. Anyway, so from CNN we have, can Representative Anthony Weiner survive Weinergate? And then we have from the LA Times, Weinergate, whose crotch was it and when did he know?
What? When did he know? When did he know what?
That probably when did he know that the picture was sent and they thought
I think it was
him or
when
something?
it got sent out by Andrew Breitbart and millions of people found out about it instantly. I think that I'm just assuming that's when
I'm
he
going to
found
say
out.
when he knew is when he sent the picture.
Yeah, when he
That's
went
probably when
click
he knew.
of the camera.
Yeah, when he probably knew that his
Here's
crotch was on the
here's a
internet. when he
twofer
sent
from
it.
the Miami Herald. Here's the lowdown on Weinergate.
Oh,
Because
that's
you see
good.
it's like below
down
the belt.
low.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Obviously, with the dick jokes comes the sex jokes. So here's one from therap.com. Weiner stiffs Wisconsin after lewd photo scandal.
Of course.
See, that's an erect
That one's
penis
pretty
joke.
good. Stiff.
Was his crotch erect in this picture? Did you see the picture?
Yes, I did see that picture. It's totally not offensive in pretty much every way. And
So, like,
obviously, if you looked at the picture at first and you didn't know what it was, you'd be like, "Oh, that's probably a penis."
Yeah.
You get it a penis, but it would take you a second because it
Yeah.
doesn't even. It's like it's a weird thing. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a bad picture.
So like if you took a picture of your friend's, like you're just like and like
Yeah.
snapped a picture just being an asshole.
Yeah,
you'd
that's
just
what it
be
looks like.
Hey, stop it. And that's like it's not important
Yeah, but see,
at all.
the only thing is, it came from his own Twitter,
And he
so
sent it
that
to
kind of
another-
makes him dumb.
Yeah, he sent
Oh
it
well,
to,
he's dumb.
Yeah,
well,
I
when he
never
uploaded
liked
the picture,
Weiner
he sent it to
anyways,
another
but-
woman, right?
Here's actually what happened if you want to know about it. First off, the XFID data from the picture does come from his BlackBerry, so it was
Oh,
taken
they found
out.
that out.
Yes.
Okay.
However, the way it was submitted, it was used YFrog, which means you can email
yeah.
pictures to an email address that YFrog gives you, and then they'll post it on your Twitter account automatically.
right.
Well, the thing is, this YFrog address is pretty easily hackable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
I
not
see.
hackable, but it's guessable.
Right.
Within
So he
reason.
would send a picture of his crotch to someone, just not over Twitter.
Well, anyway, continuing on with the Weiner jokes. This is from the International Business Times.com. Weiner pulls out of Wisconsin speech.
That one, I like that one actually.
And then
that one's fun.
here's one from the
Blows
National,
load.
as a follow-up to the previous two.
Blows load.
No, as a follow-up to the previous two from the Wisconsin speech. This is from NationalPost.com. Look at what a mess Anthony Weiner's crotch has made.
That one's good too,
See,
actually.
I know it's probably a cum joke, like an ejaculation joke. I hope it's a pee joke, though. Like, you just peed his penis.
Okay, and moving on, there's jokes to be found in the ambiguity between the man's name and the man's crotch. So Fox News, how not to be a wiener online.
That's
good.
weak.
Yeah,
That's too
not
on the
very
nose.
nice.
Yeah.
It's very on
That's
the nose.
lame.
MSNBC has Democrats silent, vague on wiener photo.
All right.
Another one from MSV. Ambitious wiener sees media strategy backfire.
That's kind of good. I like that one because it uses wiener like he's like a nerd and not like a penis. That's the first one that's not penis related, actually.
Yeah. We got some other ones from NY Daily News has Anthony Weiner's bulging controversy, a classic example of abysmal damage control.
That one's good.
This one's from a CNN blog. First off, it starts trending. I hate that word. Trending.
Yeah.
Trending.
It's
Anyway.
terrible.
Trending. House Democrat leadership privately pushed Weiner. And then the last one I got here is Washington Post. Weiner cancels Wisconsin appearance to spend time with wife. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
was a little
in
funny,
conclusion, Media, come on, we're not 5, despite the fact we just laughed at pretty much every single one of those. Can you actually do some reporting on this?
Well, is that just the title of all the articles?
Yeah, those are just
Well,
the title.
no,
Yeah,
I think the point is they shouldn't be doing reporting on this
but
because it's not a story.
If you look at the title
It's
of
not
any...
even a scandal. They keep
No.
calling it a scandal. What did he do wrong?
Nothing.
I can
What
send
were
my
you
dick to
saying?
anybody that's an adult.
If you look at the
That's
title,
as long as it's
if you look
close.
at the title of any article on like almost any news website, all of them have puns anyway.
Well,
They do.
Yeah,
They do,
well, I
absolutely.
guess what they're trying to do is, I guess they're trying to get readers to read it because, if they read there. But, like, they all read, like, Onion headlines.
Yeah. Well, that's because people click on them.
Well,
It's because they're about wieners.
guys, I gotta say, I think that now that we've discussed this,
Incoming.
maybe we should all each come up with one of our own wiener headlines.
Okay.
For next week or right now?
Let's just do it now.
Right now?
You can think of something. Wiener finds it very hard to escape scandal stories.
Weiner can't say with certitude.
Fuck you.
I hate. Hey, you know what? He fucking said that, and I almost
Yeah.
wanted to put him on instant asshole
Yeah.
for just saying that. Certitude. What a prick. Anyway, Weiner can't say with certitude that he can come up with where the photo came from.
That one's not bad.
Wiener finds himself in a hard, tight place.
God damn it! That was my exact one. You piece of shit.
That one's good too. Wiener. Oh, jeez. I don't know.
Weiner comes all over his chances of becoming mayor of New York someday.
Okay, we're done with Wiener jokes. We're done.
Yeah, Ryan took my exact one.
Sorry. So,
Wiener meets Dick Bucket.
No, we're done. Shut up.
I don't know.
There's some reporter. He's like, hey, I think you should meet this one player. He played. Come on, just meet him. Just meet him.
So, yeah, I'll have all those article links in the show notes in case you want to make a lot of Wiener jokes.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So Wienergate, yeah, important news in the world.
That was pretty good.
Cut it
I
out.
liked it.
Yeah, it was fun. Those were some good quotes.
Good
I
Wiener jokes.
wish I had the video clip, but I heard Anderson Cooper getting giddy about talking about his dick, and it's like, you really are a homosexual. Like, just admit it, man, because he's just like, oh, where?
I thought he has admitted it.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, really? Still-
He's totally kept that in the dark because it would hurt his career.
Oh, it would.
Yeah. He's a good-looking dude.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, he's good looking, man.
a
He's
lot,
really
a lot of
good
ladies
looking.
got crushes on that dude. If somebody know he dips his pole someplace, they wouldn't.
Women love
They'd be
gay
sad.
guys, man.
They're
They do.
usually better dressed, better looking, usually.
All right.
Anyways, teach me.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Super Nintendo Chalmers. I'm learning.
So
It's time to get crazy in here.
I did very, very little research in terms of like actual origins of keygen music as opposed to just listening to hundreds of keygen music, which, by the way, didn't benefit me at all. So I'm just going to say, if you don't know what a keygen is to begin with, you should probably know that first. Keygen is a piece of software that allows you to pirate some other larger piece of software, generally to generate a key, thus the name keygen. Back in the day, they would call it getting wares, but now it's known as torrenting Photoshop because that's the only thing anyone cares about. But basically, a keygen lets you pirate the software, but along with that, at some point, someone thought of the great idea to, behind a keygen, attach a small little music file to it that would play whenever you opened the keygen. Usually twice as loud as anything else on the
Yes,
computer.
by far.
So it would scare you and hurt your ears. But if basically what a keygen is, it's a certain type of a chiptune. And a chiptune is a song created using old sound chips for computers, old sound devices, before they were able to properly, synthesize the music, not like they can now. They only had a certain amount of channels, like old video game consoles. And so chiptunes are little songs that use these old types of technologies for sound creation to make songs. And really any chiptune from like the NES, all those songs are technically chiptunes, but nowadays chiptunes more referred to as something that they purposely made it sound like that. And a lot of these MIDIs and stuff would be considered chiptunes. But anyway, Keygen music is just, there are a certain type of chiptune called tracker chiptunes, and they started to originate around when the Commodore Amiga was around.
Yeah.
And that's where actually the device that the Amiga used for sound was the first one that was like really usable, I guess. It's what I gathered from it anyway. But that's the one where a lot of the chiptunes now, they use that same type of technology that the Amiga had for its sound processing.
State of the art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And so anyway, more importantly, chiptunes. Actually, why don't we just play
We'll
the
talk
first
over
one?
it.
Yeah, we'll just go over it. You can just go ahead and play the first chiptune.
This is timely.
Yeah.
Super Slam.
Super
Yeah.
Slam.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I just gotta say, did you ever have to watch these videos? I always had to watch them in art class, but they look kind of like Lawnmower Man. They're like 3D videos. You may see them like with like ITT Tech commercials. They always play music like this. It's like, get your education now. The future of technology is
Collins
now.
College.
Yeah, it's like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. It's always like supposed to be futuristic, but it sounds. You know what it always sounds like? All these songs to me sound like something that when we were in the early '80s was futuristic.
Yeah.
You know,
80s
it's like
future.
things. It's like things like from the '50s, and
Max
you see
Headroom.
like it was supposed to look like in 2000, but it always looks ridiculous. And you're like, this is nothing what anything looks
Mnemonic.
like. Yeah, and that's what
300
it's like.
gigabytes.
It's basically the 80s. It sounds like the 80s trying to make stuff from the future, and it sounds stupid. But this chiptune here is the most popular one on the site. By the way, you're gonna use the site. You want to find some Keygen music? Go to keygenmusic.net because that's where you'll find
Hundreds.
So
all of them.
I want to know who squatted on keygenmusic.com. What asshole?
I don't know. Someone
squatted
took
on
it.
that.
Someone took it. But this is the most popular one on that site. It's pretty good. I like it. It's
Oh, well,
well, it ended. But, sorry, they're not that long. But actually, no. I think we should play the second one because I anticipate someone asking me what my favorite chiptune is. I don't know who would ask me that, but
is this it?
this is my favorite one I found on the
Same
site.
person. Hey, what's your favorite chiptune?
I was
know.
thinking that maybe someone would ask that based on the segment.
All right.
But this is my favorite one on the site because it reminds me of a kind of like a Mega Man song, but
Yeah,
a little
it does.
different. It sounds kind of like Mega Man to me though, and I like.
This is what a lot of Keygen music sounds like.
Yeah, it does.
Has that specific hype.
And this one I think was one of the top like 5 on the site also, so other people liked it too. I guess.
If you want to seek it out, it's called Unreal Superhero 3, and Unreal has 2 E's in it. So it's
Yeah, I don't
REEAL.
know why it was called that.
So
But,
what did you guys? The first time you opened a Keygen that had music. First time you opened a Keygen that had music in it, what did you like? Like when I did that the first time, like, where the fuck is that music coming from? What the
Yeah,
hell is that?
The first time I ever heard it, and it shows how little I pirate, was with Adobe CS2. I got the master collection.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I remember opening up one. It was a Diablo 1 hack, and it played really loud.
my favorite one actually of all time, including my favorite Keygen song, not this one because this is my favorite one I found on the site. But my favorite one was actually it looked exactly like a menu from Warcraft 2, and it was for a version of Photoshop. I don't know why they thought of doing that, but it actually had the exact like song from the intro of Warcraft 2. Like that was what they were playing. It was just
They're
music.
lazy
It was
Keygeners.
Warcraft 2 music. But the funny thing is, though, like, it wasn't even really a chiptune. It was a whole synthesized thing, because Warcraft 2 had, like, orchestrated, you know. But I remember that one.
Yeah,
and
Warcraft 2 was
I
an
loved
awesome
it.
game.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. But anyway, so now that you know what a keygen like is and what keygen music is and what a chiptune is, kind of, I guess the most relevant thing to talk about would just be that the technology of chiptunes really doesn't change that much, but the software does get better to create them, and so there is like modern software that's like a lot of it's open source actually. I think it's called OpenMDF or something it's a popular one, but basically they allow you to synthesized chiptunes.
Emulated,
Yeah, it's emulated with modern technology.
So you're saying that the hardware does not match the software?
Shut up.
Quote from hackers. You can't get past me. The other thing to talk about though is there are certain tricks that people started to come up with that are kind of impressive. The way that they would manipulate the sound chips to work, and they can almost fake instruments and voices and things like that using the chiptunes.
Weird.
And the way they do it is they vibrate the tone by like clipping it really, really fast. And you can play the third one, and there's kind of like it comes in a second. It's really bad. Its song's actually really terrible. But you can hear a little bit. See how it almost sounds like a voice, like almost sounds like kind of that chant, those old chant CDs, you know.
Gregorian. It sounds like Rugrats when Mark Mothersbaum does like the.
Yeah, a little bit. But basically, it's not. Obviously, it doesn't really sound like a person singing, but it.
Good for 1985.
Yeah, you know, they figured out ways to vibrate the sounds among each other to create effects, and there are some that are like more like horns and things like that. And they actually sound, you know, moderately like what they're going for. They're not like exact, but so there are things that people have done that are kind of impressive for having that type of hardware and creating those things with it. But I mean, in honesty though, chiptunes still sound like shit. They'll always sound like shit. Yeah, Ryan's listening to them.
Fucking
all
love
day.
chiptunes.
No, they sound like balls. Like they're terrible, but they. You know, whatever. They attach to keygens, and the main reason people use them on keygens is because they're really, really small. Because most chiptunes are like somewhere between 4 and 10 kilobytes. So yeah.
Let's go to questions. Did we have any user submitted
No, we
questions?
did not.
Oh, okay. No one cares about keygen.
Yeah. I have a question about keygens. Keygens came out of the demo scene. Can you explain that for us?
Nope.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
What is the demo scene? Do you know?
Demo scene is basically a bunch of, I'll read it from Wikipedia. It's a computer art subculture that specializes in producing demos, which are non-interactive audiovisual presentations that run in real time on a computer. Actually, these things are pretty impressive. If you ever seen them, they do like 64K demos, which basically in a 64K executable, they have like a complete like 10-minute interaction, like it looks like a screensaver, but awesome, and they have procedurally generated music and graphics and stuff.
So like created in like assembler or something.
Yes, yeah, they're really hardcore, and that's how because a lot of these demo scene people also made the original.
What's the point of doing that though? Just as the same
Show
reason
off
to
your
make
skill.
chiptunes?
Yeah, show off your skill in programming, basically.
Just to show what you can do, right? All right.
So, where are these people from that make these mostly? Are they from like U.S. or Russia or China or
You're a
something?
bunch of Eastern European
Yeah, I know.
ravers making
that's
this
That's
shit.
a lot of them, actually. I mean, to be honest, in America, I think that a lot of that shit's kind of disappeared. And I think the reason is because...
Auto-tune.
No. Really, I think the reason is just that if you have the ability to do shit like that here, you're almost guaranteed to get a job somehow.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but it seems
People
like...
don't care about art; they just want money.
Yeah, well...
Americans.
That's what I want. Give me all your money.
My question.
Yeah.
Is there anyone... I know there's some like chiptune bands that are influenced by chiptunes, but are there people that it's just like one dude on a stage and he goes up and he's like, listen to this shit, and there's like thousands of people there.
There aren't artists.
Like,
there aren't any
master.
chiptune artists that are like that are considered like, you know, huge
Mainstream.
artists or whatever.
Yeah, I don't mean Crystal Method either, even though they're close.
Well, no, there are people though. There are people that have there are people who have begun to incorporate chiptunes more into modern music, and sometimes you'll hear it very occasionally in mainstream pop music and stuff. You'll hear almost like these 8-bit sounds.
There's like a Black Eyed Peas song that's out right now that has one.
There are some
horrible.
people that are doing that.
I know from, sorry to interrupt, but from like, I listen to drum and bass a lot, and they have some influences in that. I mean, it's not completely...
Yeah, no, well, there are actually there are actual like technically chip tunes. They're a little bit better than chip tunes, kind of, but
their quality's way better.
There are people that have begun to get a little bit popular. Especially started around like the late 90s, early 2000s. There were some artists that were getting attention for making stuff that was basically chip tunes, if you want to be technical about it, but a little bit more advanced, I guess, because the technology's just not there enough to make a really like, a really good song. You just can't do it.
So does keygenmusic.net have a forum where we could talk about keygen music?
I honestly don't even know. I only looked at the music on the site, but if you want to find out, go for it. Just go to the site. I'm sure that you'll find
this new CS5 keygen music is terrible.
I mean, I will say,
real step down from CS4
at the 5-second mark. Oh, it's so unbelievable.
Like I said, I did very little research on actual origins of it, and more so I just listened to thousands of them. And I can honestly say, I mean, if you want me to be really truthful about it, I don't think I found one song that I actually liked.
Super Slam was good.
They're all bad to me.
I save it on my computer. It's ridiculous. I should have sent it to you. It's pretty funny.
But I mean, that's really all I got.
Yeah.
I figured that since no one asked questions, I guess no one cared that much. So
No. Well, so who are you going to challenge next?
Yeah, you need to find a new random
well,
article.
it's got to be one of you guys, because obviously you're going to be gone next week. So
I think he was next in line anyway.
Yeah.
were you?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I guess then Ryan is going to be
Find a random one.
doing some Teach Me segment. And I'm
cool.
going to have to pull up some random stuff here. Why don't we just go
Yeah,
on to
we'll go to the
segment
next
and
segment.
I'll,
Before the top three, we'll
Top three.
announce top three movies. Wager
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
So, Alex, let's talk about dog empathy.
Yay, instant asshole.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
I saw, I saw this dog on the side of the road.
Shut up.
It was-
Okay, this
it
is my
was
segment.
fed,
You shut up.
And the person loved it.
Fuck
and I
you,
went,
shut
it
up.
should be loved more.
Yeah, shut up.
The instant asshole for today is people who care too much about dogs and like them more than human beings.
Yep.
Example of this is if you're watching a movie. In this movie, the main character has a dog. This character loves the dog, and the dog loves him or her.
And you know this because they show dog reaction shots
Yep.
over and over
Yeah.
again.
They always show the person like petting or talking. to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
dog.
They show love between each other all the time.
Yeah.
Then the dog dies. Usually trying to help the owner, of course.
Yeah, doing something
Say-
valiant.
dying for the owner.
Not licking its own asshole.
Then
which it
people in the
finally-
audience start crying because a fucking dog died.
Yep.
This is called the I Am Legend clause.
Yeah. Then later in the movie,
Right, yeah.
the main character dies, and these people who are crying about the dog dying show no emotion at all that the person died. Dogs.
Dogs.
This and I Am Legend. That was the best example. Ryan
You-
said.
Kevin, you lived with someone who absolutely did this and even admitted that she did this.
Yes, yeah.
And she had an asshole dog.
Her
who
dog
a
was
shit.
maybe one of the worst, like, behaved dogs
Jump
I've
up on
ever
everyone.
seen. He would jump all over everything. He would eat food off the table while people...
Off the grill, right?
Yeah,
A hot grill.
he knocked over the grill once and ate all the burgers. And we all just couldn't eat.
Apparently, there's another movie is Marley and Me. I never saw that, but I guess the
Oh,
dog,
yeah,
dog,
yeah.
dog dies in, and then every single woman I ever talked to said they cried about it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
They say it's like one of the saddest movies.
dude, when the dog died in I Am Legend, me and Kevin were fucking laughing, making jokes, and everyone else is crying. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, they were
I was
upset.
crying because I paid money to see that movie.
We had our flasks in there, so it was good.
Yeah,
And
we
there's
did
people,
that time.
I mean, it's not just dogs dying. People like put clothes on their dogs and shoes and shit like
There's
that.
not,
People
okay,
just-
so we should be clear. There's nothing wrong with liking your dog, but
Oh,
if you
yeah.
like your dog more than like other human beings,
yeah, I was gonna say that like. I like some dogs more than some people, but that's only because people have enough intelligence to really fucking piss me off.
yeah, it's like my parents have a dog, and I like that dog. If the dog died, I would feel bummed about it, but like I wouldn't feel more bummed if my parents died. It's like
Yeah. I mean, dogs are pretty much like slaves to humans. They'll do whatever you want, so it's kind of hard not to like your dog because, like, oh, he's gonna like me no matter what. So
Unless your dog's an asshole.
There's
Yeah,
not
well,
really,
that didn't really work out for African Americans in like the early 19. Well, I love my slave. Like, no, they
that's why I'm saying there's a difference between dogs. That's why people like dogs so much. Because
Yeah, I bet you the dog they treated great, but then the fucking black person doing all the work is like, oh, fuck you.
It does bother me a lot that people. I've seen more people cry or get sad about movies in which a dog dies than I have where people die. And
Absolutely.
even characters who are considered like good characters, like in movies and stuff. And the character will die, and people usually aren't that upset, but when a dog dies, they lose
they freak out.
Yeah,
And
like
I think-
old Yeller is a great example.
I
I actually think that one's all right though, because they have to kill the dog.
Yeah,
it's different
that's-
than just the
that's
dog dying.
depressing, yeah.
That's
more
There's
depressing.
tons
sad.
of movies where someone has to kill someone that like
Well,
of
in
Mice and Men.
I Am Legend,
Who cries
though.
during
In I Am
that?
Legend, he kills the dog,
But
too, though.
the name of the movie is about the dog.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true.
There's
You know
movies
what you're
where
getting into.
The dog's just part of the movie, and then it dies. Oh, then the main character dies. Like, oh,
Yeah, no
that
one
sucks.
cared at the end of I Am Legend when Will Smith died, but when the dog died, a bunch of people cried. That's what bothered me. It's like no one cared when he
Yeah,
blew.
I'm saying like people care. Why do people care so much about a dog they don't even know dying though? Because like, oh, their dog, like Ryan said, their dog dies. Yeah. That's sad, but they don't care about some other dog. Oh my god, it's terrible. What? Another human dying they don't know, they don't fucking care. I mean, I don't care about either of those either because, it doesn't really affect me.
Because you're an insensitive person.
No.
So if you're saying that if you put a dog in like a military helmet and had it blown up by an IED and filmed it, more people would cry about
Yes.
that than
Oh,
the
yeah.
soldier. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
so too. I totally think they'd be like, oh, that poor dog.
And not only
wasn't there
that,
like a-
PETA would call you
Yeah.
and start harassing
Wasn't there like
you.
a fake scandal thing a while, like 2 or 3 years ago, where it showed like it was some fake footage of some Marine throwing a dog or something, and like it caused. I
No,
vaguely
I remember the
something.
girl throwing dogs into a river, throwing little
Oh,
puppies
yeah,
in
the
a river. I remember that.
Yeah, I kind of laughed at that. Just 'cause it was so ridiculous.
It was pretty
And also the
ridiculous.
comments were great. They acted like she was Hitler. Like,
Yeah,
they were
no,
like,
yes.
you should be executed.
Yeah,
It's
so
like, yeah, she's fucked up. She should go to prison.
But-
executed?
But think about how many homeless people starve to death today.
Yeah.
No.
who cares?
why? Why do we
That's
care
their
about that?
fault.
No,
It's their fault they
well,
have mental issues and stuff.
Well, I guess the
I'm saying that people are assholes for caring way more about dogs than humans. I mean, even
I
if you
agree.
don't know the dog or the human, it's okay not to care because
Well-
they don't affect your life really.
To be devil's advocate, usually the argument they use is, a human knows what they're doing. A dog has no control.
yeah, and that's what
over-
my roommate.
Yep.
That's what my roommate
I've
would
heard
always
a
say
lot of
is
people
she would go, well, the dog doesn't understand what's happening to it, and I'm like. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it worse to understand what's happening to you? Isn't it worse to know of your own mortality and have to face that than it
Yeah.
is to be completely unaware of it? That's way better. I would rather
I'm gonna help this guy. Oh, because I'm dead now.
Has no one ever heard of the term of the phrase "ignorance is bliss"? It's fucking awesome. If you don't know about something, you can't be bothered by
I know.
it.
There's times, just personally, where I go, man, I wish I didn't know stuff. I just
I
wish.
know,
I wish
right?
I wish I just read. I wish I just took in the script of life and just did it word by word, and I'd be happy.
So
But it's just like no.
So I know that there's probably a lot of dog lovers out there. I'm not saying you're an asshole. Just
Put it in
don't get
perspective.
over empathetic about dogs because like he was saying about roadkill of dogs and cats and stuff.
Oh
People
yeah. If they saw someone hit by a car, they go, "Oh God!"
Dude,
but
like-
if they see a dog, they cry.
You see a dead coyote, no one cares. It's a dog, but no one cares. You see a fucking dead dog, oh my god, it's a dead dog.
yeah, it's all about those stupid double standards that people have about like random shit. But things like animals are more important than humans. Like you're a human, you should care more about people than you do about animals. Sorry.
Well, that's like the people who during Katrina saved dogs
Yeah, see,
instead of people. And
it's
like,
all great you're trying
huge
to help,
assholes.
but you're still being useless because you're saving a species that has no importance, like, to our survival in any way. We're human beings. We should care more about human beings.
Yeah, they just like animals because animals just want to be happy.
Is that why?
They just want to be. There's never a depressed dog. There's
What
no
is that
droopies
from?
or
That's an actual
Eeyores.
quote from a
That was
movie.
from that shitty
some
Mr.
bear
T
movie with Mr. T.
Oh yeah, that's
We watched it on
right.
Netflix,
We
that's
watched,
pretty funny.
yeah, that movie.
All right,
They rode
so
a bicycle.
Anyways,
that's the instant asshole segment.
Okay, so
I had a good time.
let's get on to the movies.
All right, so movies of the week.
Can you come up with an idea for a movie that will break 100 million box office?
Okay, how about this? Adam Sandler is like in love with some girl, but then it turns out that the girl is actually a golden retriever or something.
No, perfect. We'll call it puppy love.
So this is where we pick the best or the movies that will make the most money in the coming weekend. This will be for June 10th.
I actually haven't heard these numbers yet.
So from last week, the movies that made, or from this weekend, is X-Men made $56 million, so that's number one. Hangover 2 made $32 million, which is number 2, and Kung Fu Panda made $24 million, number 3. So everyone but me got all theirs correct. I went 1 and 2, so that puts me, Benson, and Ryan at 8 and 4, and Mike at 6 and 6 overall.
Okay.
So I tried to gamble and go
Man,
way ahead of you
we're having
guys.
a close race here. We've been doing.
We actually went and saw the X-Men movie.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys, but I haven't heard your opinions. What do you? Because it's getting really good reviews.
Yeah,
So
it is.
what do you guys think of the movie?
Better than the other 4
Oh,
X-Men
way better
movies.
than the other X-Men.
It's
I
by
forgot there
far
was 4 of them.
by
Oh my
far the
God.
best X-Men movie.
It's the first
and
X-Men movie I didn't
just-
feel I wasted my money on.
Oh, I could agree with that. I watched it. I got through it. At the end, I was like, well, fine. You know, I had no. The best I could say really is just I had no big problems with the movie. It wasn't badly made.
There were
or
some dumb
anything.
lines every once in a
There
while.
were some dumb lines and there were some dumb parts. It wasn't a great movie, but it was watchable.
And it's a comic book movie, so they have to introduce like 15 characters
Yeah,
in the
origin
movie.
stories.
I mean,
But they still did that pretty well.
I think the biggest problem I have with the movie was the fact that they introduced the first class, all those kids, and when I was like, who cares about them? Magneto and Professor X are way more interesting characters.
Well, they
that's
have-
the biggest criticism I heard about the film is that there's too many characters.
Yeah,
that's
they
every
introduced a
comic
bunch
book
of
movie.
stupid. Yeah,
It's every X-Men movie.
that's how it works.
Yeah.
Spider-Man had that.
Also, the
problem,
fact
too.
that it broke all of
X-Men
X-Men
has
canon.
that problem in spades because
Yeah.
there's just so many X-Men.
It's hard to make a movie of that. So
It's hard when there's
should
not.
be a series.
I'd say if you really like X-Men, go see it. If not,
yeah.
then
Well, if you really, really like X-Men, it breaks a bunch of canon.
I would
so
say
you'd probably be angry about
I would
that.
say if you like comics, or if you even can tolerate comic book movies, you'll probably enjoy it. If
you like Magneto,
otherwise,
see it.
otherwise you probably won't like it because it's not a great movie. It's just a okay movie that's
average.
not bad.
TV movie.
Yeah.
All right, so the stuff coming out next week is Super 8
Number 1.
Yes.
and another movie called Troll Hunter. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer
Yeah,
for
that one.
It looks like
Who's in that one?
Cloverfield Trolls.
Yeah.
It's no one.
Troll Bomber.
Troll Hunter.
Troll Hunter.
It was a big festival hit. That's why it's getting distributed wide release.
So Super 8's like the
That's
J.J.
the
Abrams movie.
Spielberg thing. Yeah.
And,
Super 8's, yeah, it's Spielberg.
It's called Super 8 because it's a Super 8 film, but I don't buy that shit.
No.
I think there's like 8 super things or something like that. I
yeah,
don't buy
there's
this
no
shit.
Super 8 film in that whole thing. It's shot on
no,
film.
the kid. No,
Yeah.
the kid
The
has
kids,
a Super 8
yeah.
camera.
Yeah, it's
That's
supposed to
part of
take place in like
movie.
the 60s or something.
Is this guy gonna make all his movies like super hidden before something happens?
You know what? I kind of like it. I like not knowing. And you know what? The thing that made me excited about this movie, this is going to make me sound totally weird, is that the main characters are kids. They don't make movies where the main characters are kids anymore unless they're total shit. I like action movies like The Goonies or something. They don't make movies like that anymore, so maybe
let's
it'll be
hope the kids
good.
are not
An
terrible.
interesting thing
Yeah.
about this Super
Well,
8 movie
that's always
is
big.
when I don't know if you saw it, Alex, but when you buy Portal 2,
Yeah.
there's an interactive thing in Portal 2. Like, you get to play part of the movie level or
It's like a
whatever.
train wreck, and you can walk
Yeah.
around and look at stuff. So they give you some clues and stuff. But I looked at them, like, doesn't really tell you anything.
Yeah, it looks like all these other, Close Encounters of the Third Kind or
Yeah.
Dangerous
Yeah, I
Stood
think it
Still
looks
movies.
like it could be good or it could be really lame.
See, it kind of tricks
Yeah.
you though because you
You
don't
can't
know
tell.
anything about it, so it like tricks you to come watch it. But maybe if I knew something about it, I would, or I wouldn't completely.
Yeah,
so
that's the gamble.
They had there was a Super 8 trailer.
Oh yeah, there's trailers, but they don't say
no,
anything.
No, I'm saying there was. I saw Thor,
Oh,
and they had
okay,
a
yeah.
trailer for Super 8,
Yeah.
and my girlfriend got like, I was like, "This is Super 8," and it had nothing about any. The movie told you, or the trailer
Yeah,
told
it
you
just shows like
absolutely
a
nothing.
train, and
And
then
then at the
shows
end, it was like
kids.
Super 8, and she's like, "What the fuck is Super 8?" Like, it's a camera.
The Dewey
Like
problem.
a can't.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. It's not.
problem.
There has to be something else.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
I
8
don't
something
know.
that's,
I
like,
think the
really
kid
sick.
has a Super 8 camera.
Oh, yeah,
in
he
the movie,
does.
and that's what it is.
But it's like a
It's a
combo of
double
both.
meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could
I
be.
could totally see that.
I don't know, but that's number one. We can always put number one.
Yeah.
Number one. Everyone knows that.
I think it's going to do not as good as people think. I think it's going to make like 50.
No, it's going to go the exact opposite way. Everybody's like, what is this movie about? And they're going to go
I don't
see
know.
it.
No, Cloverfield only made like 40 the first week.
Has it been having a lot of previews on TV? I don't really.
No, not really.
I haven't seen it marketed.
It'll
so
probably just
They've
stay.
had a few.
The thing is, it's
It's been
going to
decent
stay at
marketed.
number one for probably a couple weeks.
I don't know
Because what else is coming out next week?
I think there's something else.
There's something coming
whatever.
out every week.
All right, so
Yeah.
I guess I'll pick first. I'm going to pick Super 8, X-Men, then Hangover.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same. I think it's going to be the same for everyone.
I think it's the same for me. I don't see how it could be any different than that.
Hangover's not going to jump X-Men.
He wants to think. He's thinking.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do the same thing. I mean, it's...
Well, it doesn't even matter then.
This week, yeah.
This week's a
There's no way
wash,
you can pick
really.
It's impossible to pick something else. You'd have to be
The only
crazy
thing is,
to...
the only maybe on that is maybe X-Men will drop huge.
Maybe Troll Hunter could beat Hangover.
It's a
You know what?
smash.
That'd be amazing. I would be so happy if that happened.
Troll Hunter just blows everything
It
else
was
out of the
number
water.
one.
It trolls us all.
Yeah, it trolled us. No, I would love to see something else happen, but I don't think there's any chance that it's going to be different than that. I mean, Super 8, X-Men, then Hangover.
So, any of you guys are going to see it? Super 8?
I'll see it.
I actually want to see Super 8. I'll probably see it at the drive-in.
I'll
Which
say-
means I have
I'll probably
this
see it,
much
too.
respect for it. I made like an inch symbol with my fingers.
Yeah.
You know, Steven Spielberg... I
He's
will
producing
say-
it, right? He's not actually...
He's producing, but if he's producing it, he
He
pretty
probably-
much
yeah.
controls the project because he's Steven
Yes, he does.
Spielberg.
Oh, yeah. He's going to
Though
direct the movie,
I will
too.
say the Transformers movies, which he produced, they don't feel like Spielberg movies. They feel like Brockheimer movies.
Yeah.
They do, and I'm thinking that probably you just put his name on it to make a buck.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're Michael Bay, so that's
Yeah,
also, that
they're
feels
Michael
like
Bay.
Michael Bay feels like Bruckheimer.
By the way, the
Yeah,
third one,
you're right.
The
He
third
does.
one is doing crazy well in test screenings. Like it's getting like,
Really?
yeah, they actually bumped it up a couple weeks because they're like, this is going to do huge. So I just can't believe
That
it,
either-
though,
that either
'cause the
says
second
some-
one was so fucking bad.
Everyone hated the second one too.
Yeah, I think they lost the trust of people. They did a good move though with the moon thing. That's like Silver Surfer with Fantastic Four. It's like, oh, they faked the moon landing.
Well, once they're done with Transformers Dark Side of the Moon, they can make Transformers 4 The Wall, and it'll be great.
And then they'll make Transformers 5 the final cut, and no one will watch it.
Wish you weren't here.
All right, well, let's go to top 5. We'll have quite a bit of time.
Oh,
for top
actually,
sorry.
you're going to be teaching about a man named John D. Rockefeller.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Asshole.
Keep it short. You don't have to go into
Okay.
heavy detail.
Small bio.
Send some questions. He's
John
Yeah,
D.
just
He's considered
Yeah.
like the richest man ever.
Well, not considered. He was.
Yeah, like adjusted inflation, like $300 billion.
Well, how
something
do
like
you know
that.
how
It's
much
crazy.
How do they know how much money fucking like Genghis Khan and shit had back in the day?
Dude,
so.
Genghis Khan did not have money. He
don't
had
know.
rape.
He did have a lot of that.
He had power.
Yeah.
Well, I think like in terms of like recorded currency,
Yeah.
he by far.
J.D. Rockefeller. Okay.
Anyway,
Okay, so
I've been to Rockefeller
top
Center.
5 most wanted. All right, so
Most wanted.
yeah, thank you. We
We don't have a clip for that.
I
song.
know.
we still need to get one. All right.
So number 5, we're gonna pick the Pentagon. Pentagon this past week, it was early in the week, decided to state that cyber attacks against any Defense Department website or
infrastructure, or whatever.
infrastructure of any sort is considered an act of war.
Well,
That's
this
some
was
bullshit.
in response to China finally announcing that they did indeed have a cyber warfare division.
But they've been hacking a private company.
Well,
But here's the fun part. This just came out a couple of days ago. Here's the fun part. Fucking U.S. representatives have Gmail accounts that they have really sensitive information in. Smart guys. Good job.
This
Guess
is-
what their security
and they're
question
fucking
is?
hacking them.
Security question. What's your mom's name?
Yeah.
Enter a bunch of women's names.
no, go to
This is another
Wikipedia.
example, though, of people fucking up, and then they try to solve their own problem
By creating a
by
new one.
creating a bigger problem for everyone else.
This is the thing that I don't get. Like all these, like this happened with the Sarah Palin thing when she was doing the whole election thing. It's like, why do these government officials with big important positions use public email accounts? Like she used Yahoo.
Yeah.
Like all these people using
And Bush used
Yeah.
W.
Why don't
But
they-
she didn't have any sensitive information in there.
No, that's actually bullshit because the Freedom of Information Act went through a couple weeks ago that asked for all those, and it took forever to go through because they had to censor a lot of shit. But regardless,
it had a bunch of shit about Troopergate.
Why don't they just give these people like official government email accounts? I'm sure some people
do.
But they don't use them.
They don't use them probably because they're dog shit and they're slow.
Or because they don't want something tracked.
Yeah, they use Thunderbird instead of Exchange.
No, they probably use
Lotus. Actually,
version.
I remember the White House used Lotus Notes for the longest time.
Oh my god, that's a great idea.
Yeah, because
that's why no one
I remember.
uses their email.
Yeah, because there's problems with Bush's all the Bush memos and stuff not being recorded because they were on this old Lotus Note system.
Is it like WhiteHouse.gov or something?
WhiteHouse.com.
President
at WhiteHouse.com. Yeah, no.
President at WhiteHouse.gov.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funniest stat.
every new president, they just give him the password.
Hunter 2.
Hunter 2 is the password.
But the stat that I like the most, and maybe I'm misquoting this, but I think it was either 3 million attacks a day or an hour. They go, we have 3 million. We have 3 million intrusions an hour.
No, that's 3 million ping responses.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Someone's just fucking touching their infrastructure in some indirect way, and they're like, someone's hacking us!
It's like a trace route or something.
Yeah.
Like,
no, Trace RT is how you hack, man. I'm going to have to link that video now.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 4.
So number 4, you know what? Cancer.
Cancer
had a big week this week.
Cancer is... Here's the thing. Cancer, everyone knows about cancer. Everyone who fucking cares about
It's a great
cancer.
consolation.
But cancer's getting worse because it's taken over everything we can do. Like now, they're announcing that cell phones are causing cancer.
It doesn't cause it. They found that there may be a link.
No, that means there absolutely is, 100%. Because that thing, basically, whenever the World Health... How many times has the World Health Organization been wrong, first off?
I don't know.
Tons. They were wrong all the time. What they did is they went, oh yeah, there's probably evidence here of cancer, and then some lobbyist went, no, you don't have definitive proof. And then they're like, okay, let's wash it in a little bit.
It could be linked. And then it was a top story everywhere.
Yeah.
But then also, they found out that hookahs, smoking hookah, is actually way worse for you than cigarettes.
This made me very happy.
And it didn't necessarily...
I hate hookahs.
It didn't necessarily make me happy or sad, but I read it and then I just went, well, that makes perfect sense. And it wasn't surprising at all. Because they said the amount of time you hold in the smoke, the deep breaths you take, one hookah session can equal up to 100 cigarettes.
Yeah,
so
like an hour hookah session, you smoke 100
essentially,
cigarettes.
if you smoked hookah once a week and you smoked it for like an hour, you'd probably get cancer way quicker than if you just smoked cigarettes regularly. Like, it doesn't even matter. You know
what, though? You notice with hookah smokers, they have this... I don't know, I meet a lot of them who are, live these pure lives, but then their vice is hookah, and then they judge you
There's no one has anything against hookah yet.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh, that is why. It is why. It's just because there's not a stigma to hookah that's attached yet. But there will be, because now everyone knows that it causes cancer.
No, the hookah lounges.
Okay, let's say hookah's not the best example, but cell phones definitely. Let's say a year from now, the World Health Organization comes out and says, if you keep using a cell phone, you're going to take 10 years off your life, most likely. Would you stop using a cell phone?
No one would.
No one would. It's like
saying if eating chocolate caused cancer, definitely no one would stop eating it.
You know what people would do, though? They would start using speakerphone all the time.
I
ain't putting this shit up to my ear.
What about Bluetooth, though? Is that also a cause?
Yes.
Okay.
Not as much.
So basically you're saying that any electromagnetic radiation causes cancer.
Yeah.
Good thing our airwaves around us are full of it.
There's lots
Imagine being on a subway where 5 to 10 people are talking on speakerphone.
But here's the thing, though.
Imagine
Statistically,
that.
if you do anything long enough, it's going to cause cancer.
I don't know what a subway's like.
Yeah.
Or there's going to be a correlation anyway.
But these are 5-year studies, so to see differences was kind of alarming. But actually, Bill Maher said something really great about this on Real Time this past week, and he goes, you know what, if you said to someone, he's like, I'm just using this as an example. If you said to someone, if you stopped using a remote for your television, global warming would end completely. He's like, no one would ever do that. No.
That's impossible.
Seriously, imagine not having a fucking remote. It would be so horrible.
But there's the thing, though. That is literally just as... It's on the same exact level as a cell phone. Every single person has a cell phone now.
Yeah.
Like, I literally don't know.
I think people could stop using a cell phone before stop using a remote.
I
or
agree.
TV.
I would give up a cell phone before a remote.
I'd say that's true, but I don't know one person who doesn't have a cell phone anymore in my life. I know one person. I don't know a person.
One person.
Really, one person. It's unbelievable. Everyone has one. There's just it doesn't matter that it causes cancer. It doesn't even matter now. Because people are just going to use them anyway.
So speaking of cell phones, number 3, I labeled this kind of weird. People with cell phone priority. I'm going to have Alex explain this.
So this is shit that pisses me off all the time. Like you're talking to people and they're just on their phone texting people all the time.
He's
Fuck
doing
you,
it
Mike.
right now.
Mike's doing it. Or you're at a restaurant and people are just all sit down and no one talks. They just all get on their phone, play a game, do something else. No one's talking. Just sitting there on their phone.
I got 3-star on Angry Birds.
Fuck you. That shit, it drives me crazy. Come on, just talk to me. And then when they start talking, you know what they talk about? Phones.
Yeah.
Talk about what's the new phone? What's the new phone we want to
It
get?
pisses me off when people say they want to go out somewhere.
Yes.
And
it's
you
their
go,
idea too.
Yeah, and you go, all right, I guess so. And then they get there and you order a beer and they start texting on their phone, and it's like,
or they're just browsing the internet or something.
It's extremely...
Dude, browsing the internet's unacceptable. And my fiance's brother does that, and it pisses me off.
The only time it's acceptable when people are talking is in a car. I don't mind that much because you don't have to look at people in the car to talk to them anyway.
Now, sometimes, like especially when we're in production, I have to answer emails and texts while I'm at dinner. But I'll at least I'll be like, I'm really sorry, I got to answer this.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you apologize for
if
it,
you
it's
tell them, it's fine.
I mean, you can send someone sends you a text, you answer it, whatever. Just keep talking to people. Don't pick your phone over someone else that's around in a conversation.
Yeah. My girlfriend did do that a couple weeks ago. We were at this really nice restaurant, and she started talking to her friend, and it was not urgent. And I was just sitting there
just
like
you and her?
this. Yeah. I was so mad. I was like, you're the fucking rudest person on the planet.
You should have sent her a text message.
That's a good idea. But anyways, number 2. First posts on YouTube.
Okay, so I, like much of the internet, like going to YouTube and looking at videos of cats.
I actually don't.
Well, you go to watch this video of a cat, and it's pretty cute, and it has, like 40 billion upvotes and like 10 downvotes. And then the top-rated comment below it is 10 people don't like cats. Yes. Can we cut this out? Can we stop doing this, people?
Yeah, I hate that.
Like, it's always X people don't like Y thing in video.
But you know what's worse? It's not worse of the people who post that. It's worse of the people who upvote the person who posts that.
Yeah, those people are assholes, and it's not.
You're fueling the fire.
This is why we can't this is why YouTube is like the cesspool of internet, because these are the type of people who rate these comments up, and they also make
That's like
their
a
own
dig
videos.
thing.
Well,
right
YouTube
there,
is the land of jokes that were funny for 2 minutes. That's what YouTube is. It's just filled with jokes that
and fat kids falling, which I love.
Well, the fat kids falling is good, but everything else on there.
And the second most rated comment is a quote from the video.
Yeah.
and then lol XD after it.
Oh my god.
Getting angry about
the
YouTube.
top 5 most wanted for next week.
It's gonna be all YouTube related.
YouTube makes us rage the most. All right.
Number 1.
Well, one thing I want to say about that, I also hate people who take the first comment and post first.
That's gone down.
Yeah,
I
it
noticed,
doesn't happen
which is
as much.
good because that used to happen with every website.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, that's gone away more recently.
It's an internet taboo now.
All right, and the last one, I labeled it Egypt virginity check.
That's what it is.
You want to explain it, Kevin? You can.
Well, there's a very simple way to explain it. Essentially, during the uprising in Egypt recently, which I'm sure everyone remembers. Yeah.
I don't.
Well, when women were obviously included in the protests, and they arrested a lot of people, and the women they arrested, many of them were checked. I don't know the best way to explain it. Checked manually for
fingerly
for virginity to see if they were still virgins, and the reason they did this is to prevent the possibility that these women might claim that they were raped during their incarceration.
So isn't that like Catch-22?
So, yes, it is.
Question: what if they found women who weren't virgins? Were they allowed to claim they were raped?
I don't know,
What
but
was
the
the
thing
deal?
is, they didn't find any who weren't virgins. And I'm going to go ahead and guess that even if they did, they didn't find any.
They didn't know. Because
no, not that they didn't know.
How
Not
would
that
they know?
didn't- Well, if she has a hymen, then they know.
That's a myth,
but,
though. You have a bad period and you can fucking break
I'm
your
aware.
hymen.
I'm aware of this. You're preaching to the choir.
He knows all about hymens.
But what I'm telling you though is that even if they found one that was a virgin, no, they would not. They'd be
Then they
like,
check
nope.
it further by raping it.
Yeah, probably. They probably would. Then they go, well, they won't rape. See,
That's a huge asshole thing to do.
it's
why it's number
unbelievable. I
one.
mean, that's like that's like the biggest human rights violation. I mean, there's no excuse.
Well, you can think of Japan forcing in World War II, forcing the oldest sons to rape their mothers in the war. So that's a little war.
There's a lot of crazy people on Earth.
So I will say though, it's going to totally change under President Roethlisberger once he takes over. Egypt. It's going to be just all.
Yeah, it should get better.
Yeah.
I think it'll become a sanction
But,
at that point.
Once you get used to him swinging his dick out on tables and stuff, then it's fine.
Twice.
Two separate times.
Twice, and people still love him.
Yep. Well, anyways, that concludes our podcast. If you want to contact us, you can, again, contact us at podcast@tipping40s.com. If you want to ask questions about Rockefeller, or you can call us at 218-666-8407 and leave us voicemails about poop.
Now we're going to get like 10 of them.
Yeah, probably. There's going to be
Please
way
do.
more poop ones.
Just
now
when you're
than
taking the
that.
shit, just record that sound.
Yeah, that'd be great. A nice wet
Please
one.
no. All right, well.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thanks for
This
listening.
has been another episode of the Tipping 40s podcast, and I won't be here next week, so it's obviously going to suck.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Not gonna be as good.
That'll be sweet.
Well, yeah, thanks for listening. I won't see you, but these guys will see you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.